This is the new Range Rover Velar, which we have come to see at Land Rover's factory in Solihull with some of our readers. It sits between the Evoque and the Sport in the Range Rover lineup and costs from around £45,000. Let's see what they think. Compared with the other Range Rover models, do you think this is a particularly stylish one?
I think it is. I've got a soft spot for the Range Rover Sport, but I think this is nice shape and any angle it looks good from, whereas some other cars don't.
There's obviously quite a lot of styling cues and highlights on the vehicle, both on the bonnet, on the side panels, etc. And they are really starting to turn vehicles into more of a designed icon, a design features.
Compared to an F-Pace or a F-Pace or a Macan, that probably put a bit more into the styling of it and a bit more thought into the car overall.
A lot of thought gone into the design, colours, the options, work really, really well.
Compared with your BMW, do you think the interior materials are noticeably better in this Range Rover?
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, Range Rover, as I say, is that luxury brand, and you know, it's all leather, it's plush carpets. The way in which the whole of the interior is put together, everything's very, very neat, very well finished. Significantly better, I think, than my X3.
Definitely Range Rover. However, you know, this is sort of like moved on.
From the technology perspective, you've got the infotainment screen, the options screen, and also touch-sensitive pads on the steering wheel. Is that something that you think's progression over just a lot of buttons, or?
I think it's all kind of designed to be multifunctional and to take away the number of buttons that are fixed. And so you've got less distractions for the driver in trying to find those buttons.
I like the steering wheel columns. I didn't realise the controls on the steering wheel changed function depending on what was happening. So if a phone call comes in, they light up with the phone buttons.
You think having the two touch screens below each other is quite useful as well?
That's useful. It's nice that the top one tilts towards you, and also the fact that the menus are context sensitive on it. I think that's really helpful, and people are used to doing that in their day-to-day life with sort of tablets and the like and smartphones, so I think that's great.
Tesla, they've got a very large iPad-esque screen, but it's a bit bland. It does look like it's been just nailed on there. You know, this is really sort of like pleasant and very impressive. It really is a game changer to me. It already makes several new cars out there look somewhat dated.
It does mean, of course, potentially that should something go wrong, then certainly you can't do anything as the amateur or even the local garage. I think it's got to be straight back to the main dealer.
Did you find the seats comfortable, adjustable?
Seats comfortable, lots of adjustment, get a good driving position. It feels like driving a car, very different to Discovery where you're sat up on it, you're actually sat in it, so I like that.
It's a big vehicle, so visibility around the whole of the vehicle is always going to be a problem, but you know, I think it's a vehicle you've got to get used to, which is no different to any other large vehicle.
Do you think it's spacious in both the front and back seats?
Yes, I'm 6'3". I'm sat in the front. My son, who's 14, who's getting on 6 foot, he can fit in the back quite comfortably. There's quite a bit of headroom as well for a car that's got quite a rakish roof line. It's a pleasant environment to be in, really.
I think it would be practical for a family. I was surprised how much space there is in the back. You know, even with a sort of 6-footer in the front, and I'm quite tall as well, there's plenty of space.
Just about enough room for me, but there's plenty of room for a toddler.
And you're how tall?
I'm 6'6".
So a practical family car overall then?
I think so, yeah. I mean, like I said, the boot's absolutely massive. I was actually surprised, given the dimensions of the car, and because it looks quite compact when we're sort of looking at it. But actually, you know, there's reasonable space. I think it'd serve sort of day outs and holidays to the coast quite nicely, I would think.
In terms of performance, would you be going for one of the 4-cylinder engines or perhaps the V6?
I would look at the 4-cylinder engines, and I have driven the new Discovery with the I think it's about 240 brake, and it works really well, particularly with the gearboxes. Not as smooth as a V6, but obviously the emissions, fuel economy, there's lots of strong points for not ruling them out. And the new Ingenium diesels seem to be really good engines, so I'd strongly consider one, but again, it's always nice to have a super silky V6 under the hood.
Obviously, having your daughter, the safety features, I guess, would be a big deal for you, the electronic aids. Could you tell us about that?
yeah, that'd be a massive priority actually for me. And I'm sort of looking through the brochure a little bit, and you know, there's a lot of safety aids as standard.
Over the Evoque or perhaps the Range Rover Sport, would you prefer this model or?
Obviously they're all at different price points, and I think this is actually a step forward in terms of technology and design. And I think maybe rather than think, do I want Evoque, do I want Sport, I think I'd be thinking, do I want the latest model and do I want the latest technology?
A luxury car like that, probably more cylinders the better really. It's just looking at the price point and how it compares with perhaps its big brother, the Range Rover Sport at that point.
So for the car overall, could you give me a star rating with no halves out of 5?
I think it's definitely a 4. 4 plus from me. The only reason probably not 5 stars is, you know, it can quickly run away with itself cost-wise.
I want to say 5. I'll say 5 for now, but that's obviously subject to what it's like to drive in practice.
Probably 4 stars.
I am going to give it, on first impression, I'm going to give it a 5.
So the readers absolutely love the car. The Velar is on sale now with deliveries due to start in August. Click subscribe to see all of our latest videos, and don't forget to check back to whatcar.com for all of our updates.